3 years had passed since first contact, and humanity was still adjusting to their place in the wider universe. Sam had jumped at the chance to work on this frontier station. It beat staying on Earth, where opportunities grew scarce with each passing day. His attention drifted to a group of tall, elegant aliens entering the marketplace. Their blue skin shimmered with subtle patterns that seemed to shift and change with their movements. Syrians he recognized from the station orientation, materials renowned for their advanced biotechnology and reserved nature. One of the Syrians, a female with striking violet eyes, suddenly stopped. Her gaze locked onto Sam with an intensity that made him uncomfortable. The alien woman stared for a long moment, then turned to her companion, saying something in their musical language. Sam couldn't understand. To his surprise, the entire group turned to stare at him. The first Syrian smiled, a gesture remarkably similar to human expressions despite her alien features. She pointed directly at Sam and said loudly enough for nearby traders to hear, "That is my husband." The marketplace fell silent around them. Several humans at nearby stalls turned with expressions ranging from shock to amusement. Sam felt his face grow hot with embarrassment. "Excuse me," he managed to say. "There must be some mistake." The Syrian approached with graceful movements. Her companions followed, maintaining a respectful distance. She stood nearly 7 feet tall, forcing Sam to look up to meet her gaze. Her forearms were folded in what seemed like a formal posture. "No mistake," she replied in surprisingly good English. "I am Nira, scientist of the Third Circle. My vision quest revealed you as my destined partner." Sam looked around desperately for help. His friend Rita, who ran the food stall across the way, approached with a concerned expression. "Everything okay here, Sam?" she asked while eyeing the Syrians warily. "This alien just called me her husband," Sam explained. Still bewildered. "But we've never even met," Rita raised her eyebrows. "Really? That seems forward even for off-worlders." Nira tilted her head in a bird-like motion. "Your species relies on extended courtship rituals. Mine sees more clearly, we perceive, connections across probability space. What you call destiny." "Look," Sam began, trying to sound diplomatic. "I'm flattered, but humans don't typically commit to marriage with someone they've just met." "Not marriage as you understand it," Nira clarified. "A joining of paths, a recognition of compatible destinies." Before Sam could respond, the station's security alert blared overhead. The lighting shifted to emergency red, and a computerized voice announced, "Warning, unidentified vessels approaching. Defense protocols activated. All civilians proceed to designated shelter areas." The marketplace erupted into controlled chaos as traders quickly secured their goods and headed for the shelter zones. Rita grabbed Sam's arm. "Come on, we need to move." The 18 Syrians conferred briefly among themselves. Nira turned back to Sam. "This is not coincidence. The threads of fate draw tight. We must speak again after this passes." With that enigmatic statement, she and her companions glided away, moving against the flow of the crowd. Sam found himself hustled into a crowded shelter alongside Rita and dozens of other humans and aliens. The station's walls hummed as defense shields activated. A tense silence fell over the assembled refugees. "Want to tell me what that was about?" Rita whispered. "Getting proposed to by a Syrian is not something that happens every day." Sam shook his head, still processing. "I have no idea. She just pointed at me and announced I was her husband, like it was already decided." "Heard stories about Syrians," an older man nearby interjected. "They have some kind of precognitive ability. See possible futures or something." "Great," Sam muttered. "So she's decided we're married based on some kind of alien fortune-telling." The shelter shuddered as something impacted the station's outer defenses. The lights flickered momentarily. Everyone fell silent, listening to distant sounds of energy weapons. After what felt like hours, the all-clear signal sounded. The shelter doors unlocked, with a pneumatic hiss. As people began filing out, a station security officer entered. "Attention, everyone," she announced. "The station has sustained damage from raiders. We need repair crews immediately. Anyone with technical experience, please report to Central Control." Sam sighed. Duty called. He would have to figure out the alien wife situation later. As a station technician, he was needed. Hours passed as Sam worked alongside other techs to restore critical systems. The raiders had targeted the communications array and life support backups. System by system, they brought the station back to operational status as his shift ended. Sam made his way wearily back to his small quarters. Looking forward to rest, he opened his door only to find Nira, sitting calmly inside his quarters, had been transformed. Glowing plants unlike any he had seen on Earth lined the walls, bathing the room in soft blue light. "How did you get in here?" he demanded, too tired to be diplomatic. Nira rose gracefully. "Your security systems are primitive. I came to continue our discussion. The attack today was merely the beginning." "Beginning of what?" Sam asked, collapsing into his chair. "A sequence of events I have foreseen," Nira replied. "Events where our combined strengths will be needed." Despite his exhaustion, Sam felt curiosity stirring. "You keep talking about visions and destiny. What exactly did you see about me?" Nira moved closer, her violet eyes seeming to look through him rather than at him. "I saw you standing at a critical juncture. A moment when the fate of many worlds balances on simple choices. I saw myself beside you. Our knowledge combined becoming something greater than either alone. And that makes me your husband." "Your language lacks precision," Nira said with what might have been frustration. "The closest concept is life bonder, one whose path joins with another, creating something new." Sam rubbed his temples, feeling a headache forming. "Look, I don't mean to be rude, but this is a lot to process. I don't even know you. Yet you will," Nira stated with absolute certainty. "The raiders who attacked today seek ancient technology buried on this world. Technology my people left here millennia ago. If they succeed, many will suffer. You possess skills. I lack. I possess knowledge. You need. Together we can prevent catastrophe." "Wait." Sam sat up straighter. "Are you saying you knew the station would be attacked?" "I saw possibilities," Nira corrected. "Some clearer than others. The future branches with each choice made. The attack was highly probable. Your involvement with me equally so." Sam studied the alien woman, trying to gauge her sincerity. Despite the strangeness of the situation, he sensed no deception, only an absolute conviction that unsettled him. "Why me?" he finally asked. "There must be others with technical skills." Nira extended one of her 4 hands, palm up. A holographic display appeared above it, showing complex patterns of light. "These are timeline threads I perceive. In all successful outcomes, your presence is constant. Your adaptability, your unique perspective on problems, your human creativity combined with determination." Sam stared at the shifting patterns, unable to decipher their meaning, but mesmerized. "Nonetheless, I need rest," he finally said. "Time to think." Nira nodded, and the hologram vanished. "Understandable. Your species requires regular unconsciousness to process information. I will return tomorrow. We have little time." Before Sam could protest, Nira moved too. The door she paused, looking back. "The raiders will return in 3 cycles with greater numbers and a device capable of revealing what lies beneath this station. They must be stopped." With that, she was gone, leaving Sam alone with his thoughts, and the softly glowing alien plant still humming with energy, as if alive and watching now. "Let me create part 2 for you." Sam woke to the soft pulsing light of the alien plants Nira had left behind. He had been too exhausted to remove them last night, and now he found their gentle glow strangely comforting. The events of yesterday seemed dreamlike in the morning light. An alien woman declaring him her husband. Talk of raiders and ancient technology. He reached for his comm unit, checking for station alerts. Nothing unusual. Everything seemed normal, making Nira's warnings feel even more surreal. Soft chime indicated someone at his door. With a sigh, Sam pulled himself up. "Enter." Rita stepped in, carrying 2 cups of synthetic coffee. Her eyes widened at the sight of the glowing plants. "Wow, redecorating." "Not exactly." Sam accepted the offered cup gratefully. The Syrian woman from yesterday. She was here when I got back. Rita nearly spilled her coffee. In your quarters. How did she get in? Apparently our security isn't very challenging for her species. Sam took a long sip. She said the station attack was just the beginning. Something about raiders looking for ancient technology. And you believe her? Rita settled into the room's only other chair. Sam shrugged. I don't know what to believe. She seems absolutely convinced we're supposed to work together to stop something bad from happening. Well, you could do worse for a wife, Rita teased. Syrians are supposed to be brilliant, and those forearms could come in handy. Very funny. Sam rolled his eyes. I'm supposed to meet her today. Apparently we've got 3 days before these raiders return. Rita grew serious. The station security briefing this morning did mention the raiders might return. They hit 2 other outposts before us following some kind of pattern. Sam set his cup down. She knew that. She said 3 cycles. Whatever that means in their time measurement. Maybe you should hear her out, Rita suggested. Worst case scenario, she's crazy. Best case, she actually knows something that could help the station. After Rita left for her shift, Sam reported to the repair bay. His supervisor, Carol, assigned him to work on the damaged communications array. The delicate work kept his mind occupied for several hours as he finished the final calibrations. A shadow fell across his workstation. Nira stood watching him, her tall form drawing curious glances from the other technicians. Your repairs are efficient, but the subspace harmonizer is misaligned by 3 microns, she observed. It will fail when power exceeds 80%. Sam blinked in surprise. He rechecked his work and discovered she was right. The deviation was so small most diagnostic tools would miss it. How did you see that? He asked, making the adjustment. My species perceives energy, patterns directly, Nira explained. Your technology produces distinct signatures visible to us. Carol approached, eyeing Nira with undisguised curiosity. Is there something you need off-worlder? I require Sam's assistance with a matter of station security, Nira stated formally. The recent attack was targeted specifically at this location. The raiders seek Syrian artifacts buried beneath the station. Carol frowned. You should take that to security, not my repair technician. I intend to, Nira replied. But I require someone with both technical knowledge and an open mind. Your security forces are bound by protocols that will limit their effectiveness. Sam finished the repair and stood wiping his hands. I can take my break now, Carol. His supervisor hesitated, then nodded. 1 hour. Then I need you back here. We've still got damage on levels 3 through 5. Sam led Nira to the station's small cafeteria. Finding a quiet corner, he asked, Okay, what exactly do you think is buried here? And why would raiders want it? Nira produced a small device that projected a 3-dimensional map of the station and the ground beneath it. 12,000 years ago, my people established research outposts across this sector. This planet was one such location. The facility studied dimensional phase technology. Dimensional phase, Sam repeated, like alternate realities, similar but more fundamental. Nira explained. The ability to shift matter between states of existence, neither fully in this universe nor outside it. The research proved too dangerous. The facility was sealed rather than destroyed in case the knowledge became necessary in the future. Sam studied the projection. And you're saying this facility is directly under our station? The outpost was built here precisely because of what lies beneath. Nira confirmed. The energy signature masks the Syrian technology from sensors. So who are these raiders, and how do they know about this? Nira's expression darkened. They call themselves the Void Seekers, a cult that believes transcendence can be achieved by merging with other dimensions. They seek our phase technology to open permanent rifts. They have obtained fragments of our historical records, enough to piece together the locations of research outposts. And you're telling me station security because they will not believe me without evidence. Nira stated, we must first locate the entrance to the facility, prove its existence, then demonstrate the danger. Sam shook his head. This sounds like something from a bad science fiction story. Why me? Why not work with your own people? My government denies these facilities exist, Nira said softly. The research violated our most sacred principles. The truth was hidden even from our own kind. Only those like me who see beyond conventional perception know the reality. And the husband thing, Sam pressed, how does that fit in? Nira seemed to hesitate for the first time. The timelines where we succeed all contain a deep connection between us. The nature of that connection varies, but its presence is constant. In many it manifests as what your kind would call a life bond. So you just decided to skip to the end result. I acted on the clearest path I perceived, Nira admitted. Perhaps I should have approached differently. Your species values choice and gradual development of relationships. This I have learned from studying humans. Sam found himself smiling despite the bizarre situation. Yeah. Meeting first usually comes before marriage announcements. Nira tilted her head in that bird-like gesture. Then let us begin again. I am Nira, Third Circle Scientist of the Syrian Collective. I believe our paths are meant to join, but I will respect your customs in exploring that possibility. Better. Sam nodded. Sam Morgan, repair technician, formerly of Earth now, just trying to make my way in a universe that's a lot bigger than I ever imagined. Will you help me locate the facility? Nira asked. The raiders will return soon with equipment that can detect what lies beneath. Sam considered the request. His rational mind said this was crazy, but something about Nira's certainty, her directness, made him want to believe her. And if she was right, the station could be in serious danger, ill help, he finally said. But we do this carefully. No breaking station rules, no putting people at risk. Nira nodded. Acceptable. The entrance would logically be located in the lowest levels. Perhaps in areas not frequently accessed, the maintenance tunnels. Sam suggested, there's a whole network under the main station, mostly automated systems down there. Can you access these areas? With my repair credentials, yes. Sam checked the time. But I need to finish my shift first. Meet me at my quarters at 1900 hours. Nira stood. I will continue my own investigations until then. There may be energy signatures I can detect that your systems miss. As she turned to leave, Sam called. After her, hey Nira, why did you put those plants in my room? Nira looked back. They filter toxins, improve air quality, and harmonize brain patterns during sleep. Did they not help you rest better? Sam realized he had slept more soundly than usual. Yes, actually they did. Then they served their purpose, Nira said with what might have been a smile. Until tonight, Sam Morgan. The rest of his shift passed slowly. Sam's mind kept returning to Nira's story. While fantastic, it would explain the seemingly random attack on an otherwise unremarkable outpost. If the raiders returned in force, the station might not survive. When his work was finally done, Sam returned to his quarters, showered, and waited. Precisely at 1900 hours, his door chimed. Search for ancient secrets was about to begin. Let me create. Part 3. Nira arrived precisely on time, carrying a small bag of equipment. She had changed from her formal attire into something more practical. A close-fitting suit with multiple pockets and attachments. Sam had also dressed for utility in his standard-issue maintenance coveralls. I accessed the station schematics, Sam explained, displaying the layout on his small terminal. The deepest access points are here and here. He pointed to 2 locations. This one is closer but more heavily monitored. This one has less security but means a longer journey through the tunnels. Nira studied the display. The second option would be preferable. Less chance of detection. My presence in restricted areas would raise questions. Sam nodded, gathering his toolkit. We can use my access codes, but we need to be careful. The security systems. Log all entries. I can create a temporary loop in the monitoring systems. Nira offered, removing a small device from her bag. It will appear as routine maintenance. Sam raised an eyebrow. That's not exactly following station rules. A small deception, to prevent greater harm. Nira countered. If I am correct, the safety of everyone on this station is at risk, Sam couldn't argue with her logic. The stakes were too high to worry about minor infractions. All right, let's go. We need to move during shift, change fewer people in the corridors. They made their way through the station, timing their movements carefully. When they reached the maintenance access hatch, Sam entered his codes, and the door slid open, revealing a narrow ladder descending into dimly lit tunnels after you. He gestured. Nira descended with surprising agility, all four arms moving in coordinated grace. Sam followed, closing the hatch behind them. The maintenance level was a maze of conduits and support structures. The ceiling barely cleared Nira's head, forcing her to stoop slightly. This way. Sam led them through the tunnels, following the path he'd memorized. The air grew cooler and stale the further they went. The regular hum of the station faded, replaced by the occasional hiss of hydraulics and whir of automated systems. After 20 minutes of careful navigation, Sam stopped. This is the lowest point accessible through station systems, directly below the central core. If there's anything hidden, it would be somewhere around here. Nira removed another device from her bag. This one emitted a soft purple glow as she activated it. She moved slowly in a circle, her eyes half closed as if listening to something Sam couldn't hear. There are energy patterns here, she finally said, subtle but distinct. Not from your technology, different frequencies older. Can you pinpoint a source? Sam asked, scanning the area with his own tools, which showed nothing unusual. Nira pointed to a section of floor that looked identical to every other part. There. The patterns converge beneath that point. Sam knelt, examining the floor panels. They appeared standard issue, nothing to indicate they concealed anything special. He ran his hands over the surface, feeling for irregularities. I don't see any access points, he admitted. If something is down there, it's well hidden. Nira joined him on the floor, her four hands exploring more area than he could cover. The concealment would be thorough, designed to remain hidden for millennia. Her fingers paused on a small section. The material density differs slightly. Sam checked with his scanner. You're right. It's reading as the same material, but the molecular structure is different. More compressed. Working together, they traced. A faint outline approximately 2 meters square. Nira placed her purple device at the center of the pattern. Stand back, she warned. This will temporarily align the phase signatures, making the entrance receptive to activation. The device began to pulse rhythmically. The floor beneath it seemed to shimmer, becoming less substantial with each pulse. After several seconds, the entire outlined section glowed with the same purple light. Now we need the correct resonance sequence, Nira explained, producing a small crystal from her bag. This contains the activation codes for all Syrian facilities. She pressed the crystal against the glowing outline. A series of symbols appeared, hovering just above the surface. Nira touched them in a specific pattern. The floor panel dissolved, revealing a dark opening and another ladder descending even deeper. I was right, Nira whispered, an unmistakable note of vindication in her voice. Sam stared at the opening. I guess you were incredible. We should proceed quickly. Nira gathered her equipment. The entrance will reseal automatically after we enter a security measure. Sam hesitated at the edge. If it seals, how do we get back out? The same process works from either side, Nira assured him. I have everything necessary for reactivation. Taking a deep breath, Sam followed Nira down the ladder. The moment they cleared the opening, the floor panel rematerialized above them, leaving them in near darkness. Only the glow from Nira's devices provided illumination. The ladder ended in a large chamber, unlike anything Sam had seen. The architecture was fluid, with no sharp angles or straight lines. The walls themselves seemed to pulse with faint luminescence, gradually brightening as if responding to their presence. The facility is recognizing life forms and activating. Nira explained, her voice hushed with what sounded like reverence. No one has stood here for 12,000 years. As the lights strengthened, Sam could see the chamber extended into multiple corridors, all constructed of the same flowing material that seemed neither metal nor stone, but something in between. Symbols similar to those on the activation panel lined the walls. "Can you read these?" he asked, tracing one with his finger. "They are ancient scientific notation." Nira replied, "Warnings, procedural instructions, this way." She pointed to the central corridor. The main research chamber would be there. They moved forward cautiously. The facility hummed with increasing energy as more systems activated. In the main chamber, Sam stopped in awe. The circular room was dominated by a platform in its center. Above it hung a sphere of swirling energy, approximately 2 meters in diameter. Shifting colors moved within it, like oil on water. "What is that?" he whispered. "A contained phase bubble." Nira approached slowly. "A small pocket where our dimension intersects with others, perfectly balanced, neither collapsing nor expanding." "It's beautiful," Sam admitted, moving closer, "and incredibly dangerous," Nira added. "This is merely a demonstration model. The actual research involved much larger interfaces. This shows the technology functions after all this time." Sam circled the platform, noticing control panels surrounding it. "What exactly were your people trying to achieve with this research?" "Initially transportation," Nira explained, "moving between points in space by briefly shifting into another dimension where distance is perceived differently. Later, the research expanded into energy production. Resource gathering possibilities seemed endless. Until something went wrong." Sam guessed. Nira nodded. "The larger interfaces became unstable. The barriers between dimensions are not meant to be breached. Some of the research teams were lost. Others reported entity contact." "Entity contact?" Sam repeated. "You mean like beings from other dimensions?" "Not beings as we understand them," Nira clarified. "More like forces, consciousnesses without physical form, some benevolent, others not." The project was abandoned when it became clear we were drawing attention from things beyond our understanding. Sam shivered despite himself. "And the Void Seekers want to reactivate this technology to make contact with these entities. They believe communion with these forces will elevate them to a higher state of existence," Nira confirmed. "A dangerous delusion." The entities that responded most strongly to the experiments were those drawn to chaos and destruction. Sam studied the Tiuziosen control panels, trying to understand their function. Could the Raiders actually reactivate this technology? Would they know how to use it? With enough time, yes. Nira moved to a different console, activating displays filled with complex equations. "The system is designed to be intuitive. The Raiders have obtained partial knowledge from stolen records. Their leader is rumored to be a former Syrian scientist exiled for forbidden research. So what do we do? Destroy it." Nira shook her head. "That would release the contained energies. The results would be catastrophic. We must secure the facility. Prevent access. My government must be informed regardless of their public denials. They will send specialists to properly decommission the technology." Sam was about to respond when a distant sound echoed through the facility. A mechanical vibration that didn't match the smooth hum of the Syrian technology. "What was that?" he whispered. Nira froze, her head tilted in that characteristic listening pose. "Something is attempting to breach the outer entrance, the Raiders. They have returned earlier than I anticipated." "How is that possible?" "Your vision said 3 cycles. Timelines shift with each choice made." Nira moved quickly to another console. "Our discovery of the facility may have accelerated events." The vibrations grew stronger. Sam could feel them through the floor. "What do we do?" "We must secure the central technology." Nira began entering commands into the console. "And alert your station security. The Raiders cannot be allowed to reach this chamber." Sam activated his comm unit only to find no signal. "Communications are blocked down here." "The phase bubble interferes with standard transmissions," Nira explained without looking up from her work. "You must return to the surface. Warn your people I will complete the security protocols here." "I'm not leaving you alone," Sam protested. Nira paused, fixing him with those intense violet eyes. "This is why you were in my vision, Sam. Your courage, your loyalty. But now you must use your connection to your people. The raiders will kill anyone who stands in their way." The vibration suddenly stopped, replaced by an ominous silence. "Too late," Nira whispered. "They have breached the outer door." Now for part 4. The silence stretched for several tense seconds, then broke with the distant sound of footsteps echoing through the facility. Sam and Nira exchanged alarmed glances. "How many?" Sam whispered. Nira tilted her head, listening. "At least 6, possibly more. Their energy signatures are chaotic weapons powered multiple species. We need a plan." Sam looked around the chamber, frantically seeking anything that might help them. "Is there another way out?" "No." Nira continued working at the console, her 4 hands moving with incredible speed across the controls. "But I can seal this chamber temporarily. Buy us time." A metallic door slid from the ceiling, closing off the main entrance to the chamber. With it closed, they could still hear movement outside, but muffled now. "That won't hold them for long," Nira warned. "The facility recognizes them as life forms. It will respond to their attempts to access." Sam examined the door. "What exactly are they after? Is it this phase bubble?" "Not the demonstration model," Nira explained. "They seek the research data, the equations, the processes for creating larger stable interfaces. Then, destroy the data," Sam suggested. "If we can't get out, at least we can stop them from getting what they want." Nira shook her head. "The data is integrated throughout the facility systems. Deletion would require time we don't have." She paused, looking at him intently. "But there is another option. A transfer protocol the facility allows for emergency data extraction." "You mean, download everything?" "Yes. But the process requires 2 operators. One to initialize the sequence, another to receive and secure the data." Nira removed a crystalline device from her suit. "This can store the complete archives. But once the transfer begins, the phase bubble will destabilize. The entire facility will begin to collapse." Sam understood the implications. "So, whoever stays to initialize the transfer will likely not escape." Nira finished softly. "I had hoped to avoid this outcome, but the timelines are converging to this point. The vision I saw most clearly." A loud bang sounded against the sealed door. The raiders had found them and were attempting to break through. "I'll do it," Sam said impulsively. "You understand the data. You know what to do with it." "No." Nira stepped closer, placing one of her hands on his shoulder. "This was always my path, my responsibility. The sins of my ancestors, my burden to bear. You must take the data returned to your people. Warn them." Before Sam could argue, Nira pressed the crystal device into his hand. The moment it touched his skin, it bonded, seeming to meld with his flesh. He felt a tingling sensation as the crystal became transparent, revealing swirling colors within, like a miniature version of the phase bubble. "What did you do to me?" he gasped, staring at his hand. "The receiver bond is complete," Nira explained. "The data will transfer directly to the crystal. It will remain secure until delivered to proper authorities." Another crash against the door, louder. This time metal groaned as the barrier began to buckle. "There must be another way," Sam insisted. "We can both get out." Nira touched his face with another of her hands. "In some timelines, perhaps, but not the strongest paths I have seen." Her violet eyes held his. "I told you our paths were meant to join. I did not say for how long." Understanding dawned on Sam. "Your vision, you saw this all along. You knew. I saw possibilities," Nira corrected. "Many ended here. Some continued, but all required this moment. This choice." The door shuddered again. A gap appeared at its edge. Voices shouted from the other side. "They are attempting to override the lock." Nira turned back to the console. "There is an emergency exit passage through there." She pointed to a previously hidden opening that had appeared in the far wall. "It will lead you to a different access point." Some distance from where we entered, the crystal will guide you. It responds to the facility architecture. Sam looked at the escape route, then back at Nira, torn between self-preservation and not wanting to abandon her. Go, Nira commanded. Once I begin the transfer sequence, the raiders will focus on stopping it. You must be clear of the facility before it destabilizes. How long do you need? 3 minutes to initiate, 4 more for complete transfer. Sam made a quick decision. I'll give you the 3 minutes for initiation, then I'll come back for you. We leave together, or not at all. Nira started to protest, but Sam cut her off. That's the deal. Take it or, well, both stay and fight. After a moment's hesitation, Nira nodded. Very well, but you must move quickly. Sam turned toward the hidden passage, then stopped. Looking back, he asked, if we survive this, what happens to your vision? Your certainty about us? For the first time, Nira smiled, a genuine expression that transformed her alien features. Then we create a new timeline, one not yet seen. With that, Sam ducked into the passage. The crystal in his hand began to glow, providing light. In the narrow tunnel he ran, following its guidance. The passage twisted and turned, occasionally branching. He let the crystal lead him, its glow brightening when he needed to turn. Behind him, he heard a tremendous crash, followed by shouting. The raiders had breached the door. Sam forced himself to keep moving, trusting Nira to handle the transfer initiation. He counted the seconds in his head, marking the 3-minute promise. The crystal suddenly pulsed with brilliant light. A wave of energy passed through Sam, nearly bringing him to his knees. The transfer had begun. He could feel data flowing into the crystal like ice water through his veins. Each pulse corresponded to massive information packets being stored. It was time to turn back to fulfill his promise. But as he stopped, the tunnel behind him trembled. The first signs of destabilization Nira had warned about. The facility was beginning to collapse. Sam hesitated, torn between his promise and survival. His decision was made for him when a section of the tunnel behind him crumbled, blocking the path back. Logic overrode emotion. He had to get the data out. Now his only option was forward. The crystal urged him onward, its pulses growing stronger. The entire structure around him shook, dust and fragments falling from the ceiling. Sam ran faster, ignoring the burning in his lungs. The tunnel began to slope upward, promising the surface was near. Finally he saw it, a circular hatch above him. The crystal flared, directing its energy at the exit. The hatch slid open, revealing night sky. Sam climbed frantically, pulling himself through the opening as the tunnel collapsed behind him. He found himself outside the station perimeter on the planet's surface. The night air was thin but breathable. The distant lights of the outpost shone approximately half a kilometer away. He looked back at the hatch just in time to see it seal itself and vanish, leaving unmarked ground as if it had never existed. The crystal in his hand completed its final pulse, then dimmed slightly, remaining embedded in his flesh but no longer actively transferring data. The facility was gone, and with it Nira. Sam sank to his knees, exhaustion and grief washing over him. He had escaped with the precious data, but at what cost? Had there truly been no other way? Just as Nira predicted. A sudden tremor shook the ground, nearly throwing Sam off balance. It wasn't localized, but seemed to affect the entire area. The station's perimeter lights flickered. The planet itself was responding to the collapse of the Syrian facility. Sam forced himself to his feet. He needed to warn the station. The transfer was complete, but the danger wasn't over. If the destabilization continued to spread, the entire outpost could be at risk. He ran toward the lights of the station, ignoring the pain in his legs, the burning in his chest. As he approached the perimeter, he saw security forces deployed, weapons ready. They had obviously detected the disturbances. Sam waved his arms, identifying himself, Morgan Repair Tech. He shouted as they trained weapons on him. The station is in danger. The security chief, Laura, stepped forward. Morgan, where have you been? You've been reported missing. There's no time, Sam gasped. The planet, the tremors, They're going to get worse. The station needs to evacuate. Laura looked skeptical. What are you talking about? How do you know this? Sam held up his hand, showing the crystal now fused to his skin. I have proof the outpost was built over an ancient facility. It's collapsing, causing planetary instability. Another stronger tremor rocked the ground. Alarms began to blare from the station. Chief, a security officer called. Sensors are detecting massive seismic activity building rapidly, Laura made. A quick decision. Sound general evacuation, get everyone to the transport ships. As chaos erupted around them, Sam found himself ushered inside the perimeter. The station was already in emergency mode, personnel running for the docking bays. Automated. Systems shutting down non-essential functions. Morgan, you need to tell me exactly what happened, Laura demanded as they moved through the corridors. Where is the Syrian female you were last seen with? Sam's throat tightened. She didn't make it. She sacrificed herself to prevent something worse. Before Laura could question him further, Rita appeared, pushing through the crowd. Sam. Thank goodness. She grabbed his arm. I've been looking everywhere for you. The evacuation order came so suddenly. No, time to explain. Sam showed her the crystal in his hand. We need to get to a ship. This data has to reach the proper authorities. Rita stared at the embedded crystal. What happened to you? Later, Sam promised. If we survive. The station rocked violently. Support beams groaned. Lights flickered and died, replaced by emergency illumination. The evacuation was becoming more urgent by the second. They fought their way to the nearest docking bay where the last transport ship waited. Rita, using her small size to slip through the press of bodies, pulling Sam along in her wake. Security was struggling to maintain order as terrified civilians pushed toward safety. As they reached the ship, Sam looked back at the station that had been his home. For a moment, he thought he saw a flash of blue skin and violet eyes in the crowd. His heart leapt. But when he looked again, there was nothing. Just frightened humans and aliens fighting to escape. Sam, come on. Rita tugged his arm. They're closing the doors. With one last look back, Sam boarded the transport. The doors sealed behind him. The ship disengaged from the dying station with a shudder. As they pulled away, Sam pressed his face to a viewport, watching as the outpost grew smaller. Behind it, the planet's surface was visibly fracturing. Glowing energy erupted from the fissures, the same purple light he had seen in the Syrian facility. What is that? A passenger beside him whispered. The end of something ancient, Sam replied softly. And maybe the beginning of something new. He looked down at the crystal in his hand, still pulsing faintly with stored data. Nira had been right about so many things. Had she been right about their connection too? A connection that transcended physical presence. As the transport jumped to light speed, Sam made a silent promise he would ensure her sacrifice meant something. The data would reach those who could understand it, prevent it from falling into the wrong hands, and perhaps somewhere in those equations, those glimpses, into other dimensions, there might be answers about connections that defied conventional understanding, about paths that seemed separate but were destined to cross again. Finally, here's part 5. 3 months passed since the destruction of the trading outpost. Sam sat in a sterile conference room in the Galactic Administration headquarters, on Centauri Prime. The crystal, still embedded in his hand, pulsed occasionally as if responding to his thoughts. He had become accustomed to its presence. A constant reminder of what had happened and who he had lost. The door slid open, and 3 officials entered. The human representative administrator, Chen, nodded to Sam. The other 2, a Syrian elder and a reptilian Drazik, took seats across from him. Technician Morgan. Administrator Chen began. Thank you for your patience. The Joint Committee has completed analysis of the data you provided. And, Sam prompted, unable to keep the edge from his voice. After months of debriefing, scans, and examinations, his patience had worn thin. The Syrian elder spoke, her voice melodic despite the serious tone. The information is authentic records of dimensional phase research conducted by our ancestors, research officially denied for millennia. As Nira claimed, Sam said softly, "Yes, the way." Elder acknowledged, Nira Talshen was correct, though her methods were unorthodox. Unorthodox, Sam repeated with a bitter laugh. She gave her life to keep that technology from falling into dangerous hands, while your government denied it even existed. The Elder lowered her eyes. The collective has acknowledged this failing. We have instituted reforms to prevent such dangerous secrets in future. The important thing, the Drazik representative interjected, is that the Void Seekers failed their leader, was killed in the facility collapse. The surviving members have been arrested. And the crystal. Sam held up his hand. Can it be removed now that you've extracted the data? The three officials exchanged glances. Administrator Chen cleared his throat. That's what we need to discuss. The crystal hasn't exactly been extracted. What do you mean? Sam demanded. Your scientists have been studying it for weeks. Studying, yes. The Syrian elder explained, but full extraction proved impossible. The crystal has bonded not just physically but quantumly with your cellular structure. Sam stared at his hand. So I'm stuck with it. It's more complicated, the elder continued. The crystal contains more than just research data. Our analysis indicates a personality. Imprint was included in the transfer. Sam's heart raced. A personality imprint. You mean? Nira Talshen embedded a copy of her consciousness within the data transfer. The elder confirmed. A technique theorized, but never before successfully implemented, is she? Sam struggled to form the question. Is she aware inside there? Not fully conscious, no. The Syrian explained. More like an echo. A collection of memories, knowledge patterns that formed her identity. Can you extract her? Restore her? The elder shook her head. Not in any physical sense. Her body was lost in the facility collapse. This imprint is not a complete being. But there is something else. The crystal has been changing, evolving. Its structure has become more complex with each passing day. As if what? Sam pressed. As if it is trying to communicate. The Drazik finished. With you specifically, the quantum bonding creates a unique connection. Your brain waves and the crystal's energy patterns have begun to synchronize. Sam had noticed strange dreams, flashes of memories that weren't his, glimpses of Syrian worlds he had never visited. He had attributed it to trauma. But now, what does this mean for me? Administrator Chen leaned forward. We have a proposal. The Galactic Science Academy is establishing a new research division focused on interdimensional studies using the safely extracted theoretical portions of the data, not the technology itself, but the underlying principles. We would like you to join as a special consultant. Your unique connection to the crystal could provide insights no one else can offer, and the crystal stays with me. For now, yes, the Syrian elder said. Unless we discover a safe method of separation, but you would have access to our best scientists, resources to understand what is happening. Sam considered the offer. What about Rita and the other survivors from the outpost? All have been relocated with compensation for their losses, Administrator Chen assured him. Ms. Patel has actually already accepted a position with the Academy. She asked us to tell you, and I quote, stop brooding and say yes already. That sounded like Rita. Sam almost smiled. For the first time in months, I want access to all the data, Sam stipulated, everything you learn, about the crystal, about the imprint. No more secrets. Agreed, the three officials said almost in unison. After they left, Sam sat alone staring at the crystal in his hand. Under the right light, he could see swirling patterns within like tiny stars, in motion. Are you really in there, Nira? He whispered. Was this part of your vision too? The crystal pulsed once brightly as if in response. Sam found himself assigned quarters in the Science Academy complex. His new position came with privileges few technicians ever experienced, but the luxury meant little to him. His focus remained on understanding the crystal and the presence it might contain. Rita had indeed arrived before him. Her quarters were just down the corridor from his. She had adapted to their new circumstances with characteristic resilience, already making friends among the research staff. "You look better," she observed over dinner in the academy commissary. "Less like someone witnessing the end of the universe." "Thanks, I think," Sam replied, picking at his food. "The crystal." Rita nodded toward his hand. "Any changes?" "The dreams are getting more vivid," Sam admitted. "Last night I saw a Syrian city in perfect detail, could name every building, knew the history of the place, but I've never been there, never studied Syrian architecture." "Her memories, maybe." Sam set down his utensil. "The scientists say the imprint is fragmentary, just data patterns, not actually her." Rita studied him. "But you think differently, I feel her, Rita," Sam said quietly. "Not just memories, impressions, emotions. Sometimes I know things I couldn't possibly know, equations in languages I never learned." "Have you told the research team?" Sam shook his head. "Not everything. They already look at me like some lab specimen I don't need them thinking I'm hallucinating too." "What if you're not?" Rita leaned closer. "What if she really found a way to survive? Sort of the Syrians are supposed to be centuries ahead of us in consciousness technology." Sam had considered this possibility during countless sleepless nights. "Then why not make contact fully? Why these fragments, these glimpses? Maybe she can't," Rita suggested. "Or maybe she needs something you are missing." That night Sam sat alone. In his quarters the room dimmed to minimal illumination. He held the crystal up, watching the swirling patterns within. "If you're there," he spoke aloud, feeling slightly foolish. "If any part of you remains, show me a sign. Give me something more than fragments." The crystal remained unchanged. No pulse, no brightening. Sam sighed, disappointment washing over him. What had he expected? Really, he was about to give up when the room temperature suddenly dropped. His breath fogged in the chilled air. The crystal began to glow, not just with its usual faint light, but with increasing brightness until it illuminated the entire room. Sam gasped as the light coalesced, forming a translucent image before him. Nira, or something like her. Forearms delicate, features those remarkable violet eyes, but insubstantial like a hologram made of light and mist. "Nira," he whispered. The apparition smiled, that rare expression he had seen only once before. "Sam Morgan." "The connection grows stronger, I had hoped, but could not be certain." How? Sam could barely form words. "They said the imprint was just data, just memories. They understand so little of consciousness." Nira's form rippled like water. "What they call data, I call essence, the patterns that form identity, beyond mere physical existence." "Are you real?" Sam asked. "Or am I imagining this?" "Both." "Perhaps neither." Nira moved closer. "I exist in the spaces between moments, in the quantum fluctuations your scientists barely comprehend. I am less than I was, but more than they believe." "Why now? Why show yourself after all this time?" "The alignment was not complete," Nira explained. "Your mind, my patterns. They needed time to synchronize. The crystal serves as interface conduit translation." Sam reached toward her, his hand passing through her form, sending ripples through the image. "Can you come back fully? I mean, the Syrians have advanced technology, cloning synthetic bodies." "No," Nira said simply. "What I am now cannot be returned to conventional existence. That path is closed." "Then what?" Sam felt a familiar grief rising. "You're just a ghost, a recording that looks like her, sounds like her." Nira's expression showed something like compassion. "I am Nira. What remains, what endures. I made my choice when I initiated the transfer protocol, included my essence pattern within the data stream. The crystal was designed for research data. It was not meant to house consciousness. The process was imperfect, the outcome uncertain. But you tried anyway, Sam. Realized you took that chance. In my visions, I saw many endings, many paths. The strongest ones showed us continuing together, but changed. This was the only way. Sam struggled to comprehend. So what happens now? We learn to coexist in this unique state. Neither fully separate nor truly joined, the crystal allows communication with time, perhaps more. More, Sam repeated. There are possibilities beyond current understanding. Nira moved around the room studying it. The phase research explored. Boundaries between states of existence. I exist now in such a boundary state, neither fully here nor gone. And the void seekers. The technology, secured. The most dangerous elements lost in the collapse. What remains is theoretical foundation for safer exploration, not the means to breach dimensions. Sam had so many questions they tumbled over each other in his mind. But one pressed forward. Did you know this would happen? When you declared me your husband in the marketplace? Nira's form shimmered with what might have been laughter. I saw connection, a joining of paths I did not know precisely how it would manifest. My people believe when souls are meant to travel together, the universe finds a way, even across the boundaries of conventional existence. That's quite a first date. Sam found himself smiling despite the strangeness of it all. Most people just get dinner and a movie. We are not most people. Nira replied, her form beginning to fade. Maintaining this manifestation requires considerable energy. I cannot sustain it long. Not yet. With practice, with research, perhaps longer connections. Will you help me? Sam Morgan, will you continue this journey?